Hello, gorgeous folks. Welcome back to Moon Life Astro. This is Darice, and I'm bringing you the astrology for the week of January 29 through February 5th, 2025. And we're going to be talking about some of the upcoming transits and how it reflects or how it can support you as a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, or someone who's growing their own business, and also just some general overall tips on like how to just be with the energy, work with it to the best of your ability. And let's just dive right in. We're going to be talking about Mercury being conjunct or with Pluto, a powerful new moon that's happening today, the 29th. I talked about that more last week, but it's still time for you if you want to maybe do some intention setting plans for later today or even tomorrow. We're going to be having Venus connect with Neptune and the North Node. We also have Uranus going direct and Jupiter going direct. So beginning of February, you may feel a lift of energy. There might be a lightening of the load, for example. Um, it may feel like you have the green light to grow. So here we go. So January 29th, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto and the new moon. So I'm thinking of this as a great time for strategic visioning and transformation. Mercury, again, our communication, our thinking, Pluto, the planet of power, deep transformation. It's also coming off that Sun conjunct Pluto, which may have revealed some things to you about yourself, about how you want to live your life, what you're looking at. The last couple of weeks in January in particular are really good times to be thinking about what kind of seeds you want to plant, not only for this year, but for the next 19, 20 years while Pluto is in Aquarius. So if you haven't taken time to do that the next couple of days, that might be a good time for you to sit down, strategize. But really, all of this week and early next week is a really good time to look at long-term vision, long-term strategy. And we'll dig more into that as we go through this. Now, when Mercury comes together with Pluto, it's a really powerful time for really deep transformative thinking and communication. So it's a good time to maybe uncover some hidden truths or clarify your intentions. So maybe there's a way that you can look at that. It's a good opportunity or a time to look at how can you get beyond that surface level thinking. Maybe you can look at some hidden assumptions that you have about your business, your industry, how you can grow. Um, really question it. Like, look at some of the assumptions around the paradigms that are set for your career, your industry, your business. And what are ways that you can maybe shake that up? I'm sorry, I noticed I have some lint here or something on my shirt. Apologize, I got distracted by that. But yeah, look for a way to maybe go beyond these assumptions. Give yourself the opportunity to look for a new way of looking at things, especially because the next day, the 30th, we have Uranus going direct. Uranus is the planet of disruption, transformation, a lot on the collective level. But maybe you've been sitting with a lot of internal reflection for these past 6 months. Maybe you're considering a way to pivot in your career or profession. So this could be a good opportunity to look at ways to do that. Or if you've been thinking about it, this may be a good time to begin acting on that. You can look at maybe reviewing your business model officially as well. Maybe you may one possible way of doing this is maybe take 90 minutes or 60 to 90 minutes, like block everything out, shut off the notifications, go somewhere, place quiet, maybe take a walk and really reflect on what you want to do or just brainstorm for like 90 minutes, like with just pen and paper, no tech distractions, and see what comes up for you. Or if you can't do that without a device, some people need to work on electronics like a tablet or their phone, at least put everything in airplane mode while you're doing that, and like just set an actual timer, maybe put on some binaural beats music. I do that sometimes when I need to focus, and see what arises, see what comes to you. But Uranus going direct, like I said, it's a great time for pivoting. It's also a good time for a way to embrace healthy change, innovation, breakthroughs, even healthy rebellion, as I call it. Maybe there is a way to be a rebel in your profession, but in a healthy way, just to do something more than outside of the box. I know people throw that term around a lot in business circles, but it is really helpful to just maybe want to take a look at something from a different perspective. Maybe just be willing to look at it sideways instead of straight on. Maybe that's another way to think about it. A good question that you may want to sit with is where have I been holding back from change? And how can I embrace that growth? This week could be a really good opportunity to look at creative problem solving, to be open for unexpected opportunities, unexpected shifts in the direction. Another way to do this, maybe you could just do a quick audit of your actual current business processes. Maybe there's one system or approach that you're ready to revamp or revise. Another option is maybe you can come up with a control disruption plan. Like if there is something you want to do in a new, innovative way, map it out, strategize what that would look like, break it down into smaller steps. And then what is one step that you could take maybe this week or in the next couple of weeks to move you in that direction? Just something to sit with. Now, on February 1st, we have Venus conjunct Neptune. They're basically going to be coming together. And Venus, again, our planet of beauty, but it can also reflect our values, our relationships to resources, feeling resourced, our relationships. Neptune helps us tap into our imagination, our ability to fantasize. I like to think of them coming together as an opportunity, especially on top of Uranus going direct and right before Jupiter is about to go direct. I think all of that happening so close together is an invitation to really look at long term visioning, long term strategy, to really give yourself permission to ask yourself what is possible. It's also a great time to do artistic projects, tap into your creativity. If maybe there's a hobby that you put on the back burner, sometimes it's helpful to go back to those hobbies. And in the process of doing that, you might get breakthroughs or an insight around how you want to do something differently in your business or your career. So that's an opportunity as well. This is a good week for that sort of thing. It also amplifies our compassion for one another. So maybe if you've had conflicts recently with people, I know there's been a lot of challenging conversations people have been having in the air as a result of everything that's happening politically. This could potentially be a good time to reach out to mend some fences, or look at ways in which you want to potentially do that, even if you're not ready to act on it right away. But around that time, February 1st, it might be a good time to tap into that energy, just to give yourself permission to look at what that might look like. We're also going to have Venus coming together or conjunct with the North Node. The North Node represents our soul's path, our soul's purpose. It's considered the nodes of fate. So I think, again, it coming together with all these other energies at the same time, we're really being asked to look at, how do I want to live the vision for my life? How is my business reflecting that? How are my relationships reflecting that? Am I really in alignment with my soul's purpose? And if I'm not, what needs to change? There's a lot of visionary energy in the air. I think we're being asked to look at, what is my big future? What is the big vision I have for my life? What would I like the world around me to look like? And how can I begin to take small steps towards creating that world? I'm inviting us all to ask ourselves, am I giving myself permission to envision what is truly possible? Am I giving myself permission to envision what is truly possible? So, again, this is another opportunity to tap into your authentic business voice. This could also be a good time, too, to look at your branding. What is the emotional intelligence behind your branding? And is that emotional intelligence, is it reflecting the strategic vision you have for yourself and your business? Or in other words, this could be a great time to merge that creativity with some purposeful action. For example, maybe you do want to revise your brand messaging. I'm looking at that myself. I think I'm going to be updating my website in the next couple of weeks. I don't feel like it's totally where I want it to be. I'm not sure if it's truly reflecting the direction I'm growing in. So I'm going to be sitting with that myself this week. I'm going to be looking at those things for myself. It's important to ask yourself, are you creating content that truly reflects your business's soul? Does your external communication, does it reflect your internal mission? So I'm going to be sitting with that myself as well. And maybe you want to set up a little like mini workshop for yourself. Maybe take 2 to 4 hours and break out some flashcards or index cards and some markers and pens that maybe you want to rewrite your mission statement. This could be a good use of this energy as well. And then again, we have February 4th, Jupiter turning direct. This is really great. And it's also happening on the same day that Venus enters Aries. So I love Venus and Aries, that signature. I feel like Venus, again, our heart, our, in particular, my intuition with Venus entering Aries, Aries being that fire sign, that sign of action and being bold. Venus representing our passions, how we can be emotionally met. I feel like Venus entering Aries, it's permission to speak from the heart, so give yourself permission to like look at your branding, your messaging from that space. You may also want to be looking at certain relationships as well, either romantic or platonic. Where are you able to express your passion in those relationships? Is your purpose reflecting your passion as well? I feel like Jupiter going direct and Venus going into Aries on the same day, it's an opportunity to really tap into that, like the joy of our passion. The world is so heavy right now. There's so many stresses around us. There's so much fear and darkness and gloom. And I'm not saying to minimize that. I just think that one way to move through a lot of that is to give ourselves permission to reconnect to our own joy. That in many ways, that can be one of the most radical acts of resistance, is to have joy. I mean, so much of colonialism has been about robbing people, especially marginalized people, women, femmes, of their joy. And so, if we can tap back into that, if we can give ourselves permission to be free, first on the inside, and for me, that really means speaking from my heart, living from my heart, creating that space and permission to be bold, to live big, to have a big life, to move towards having a big life. Um, and it's okay if you feel like there's a long way to go. I myself feel like I'm pretty early on in this path for myself of living the big, authentic life that I truly desire. But I really do believe that half of it is just giving myself permission to believe that I can have that, that I'm worthy of it, that I deserve joy, and that through my joy, I can be of service. I can connect to people. I can have deeper connections and healing with others. And so, and Jupiter is all about expansion, bounty, so it's okay to give yourself permission to dive into your life. I think with a lot of the anxiety and the fear, there is a temptation to want to shrink back, to be small, to not stand out. And I think maybe we need to go in the opposite direction. I think we need to give ourselves permission to be bigger, to be bolder, to be braver, uh, to embrace being our authentic selves, and to believe that the universe has our back if we do that. That if we give ourselves permission to grow into that full self, what our soul is driving us to, what we're intuitively feeling is needed in the world, to give ourselves permission to act on those instincts, those desires, those impulses, to do things in a new way, in a way it's never been done before. That in that process, we free ourselves. And then by example, we can end up freeing others around us. So I'm just giving us all permission to sit with that, and to be in that space. I feel like the astrology for this week is basically a green light for growth, for us to expand our perception of what's possible, to really break through the psychological limitations. And if you need to do some shadow work around that to help you release some old emotional patterns that have kept you stuck in feeling small, or look at why you feel safe by being small, by playing small, give yourself permission to look at that. And if you need, support around that, definitely reach out to the therapists, the healers that can help you do that as well. But I'm inviting us all to just have a possibility thinking strategy to really embrace what is possible. And again, if you need to create a growth plan, or maybe there are other people you can collaborate with, other business owners or solopreneurs, maybe you guys can get together and do a brainstorming session to support each other around that. Maybe that's a way to do that. Maybe this would be a really good time to think about a strategic 12-month plan that you map out things for the next 12 months, what you want it to look like. Maybe just pick one area, maybe your brand strategy alone. Maybe that's enough to start with right now. Just something to think about. And like I said, this is just me checking in with everybody. Hope everyone is doing okay. Um, like I said, I know there's a lot happening in the world, and there will continue to be a lot happening in the world. And I believe that we are given what we need to move through these times. I believe we have what we need inside of us to grow and blossom and to be supported. I do feel like the astrology for this week is supporting us in so many ways. And just, if you have a desire to, really take your business to the next level, or even to start your business, this is a great week to take steps towards that, to map it out, to strategize, to plan, and just to believe that it's possible. And I want to let you know that I believe it's possible for you. I am rooting for you. I am cheering for you. I am supporting you. And I thank you if you made it this far. Please feel free to like and subscribe. That does help me get this message out to other people. I will remind folks that I am available for readings. There'll be a link down in the description below for that. I do general birth chart readings at this time. I also do have a free membership on the school community. So if you want to get together with like-minded people, have another way to connect with folks, be supported, receive support, share ideas, you can join that community as well. And again, I'm wishing you all the best. Love, peace, and joy to you all. Easefully yours, Darice.